Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Ninja Turtles podcast. I had promised that I would start talking about the Ninja Turtles 2014 film and then its upcoming sequel as a new channel. And this particular video, I wanted to talk about the prospect of any kind of extended cut, deleted scenes associated with any upcoming Blu-ray/DVD release. Just like I recently talked about the Godzilla film having that information, I thought I would share this information here as well. Unfortunately, things are a little sparse when it comes to anything involving deleted scenes, any kind of extended cuts for the Ninja Turtles film. And the reason for this is the movie hasn't even gone out of theaters yet. It's still not really hitting hard in theaters, but it's still definitely in theaters. It does not have any, it's going to be a couple of more, maybe 2 months or so before it even goes out altogether. So because of that fact, the information is still pretty sparse. Even going to the holy grail of information when it comes to Blu-ray releases and having to do with any kind of news, it's Amazon.com. Even going there, they didn't even have a release date associated yet, and they would be the first ones to do something like that. All they have right now is just the pricing and then the box art. I have seen some other places, Target I think was one of them, Walmart's another one, where there are separate editions, but only in the sense that it's going to feature separate covers, like focused on each of the 4 turtles. But that's about it. That's all that I've seen so far. So it's up for grabs whether there's anything going to be associated with deleted scenes within the release or any kind of hopeful extended cut. And the reason why I even talk about this is because there's certainly, based on some of the images and the behind-the-scenes stuff associated with the film, there has certainly been a bunch of scenes that were filmed that are not within the movie itself. And all you have to do is just go, there's a great place, turtlepedia.wikia.com. If you go there and you look up the 2014 film, you'll be able to see on their gallery a bunch of images, stuff that wasn't within the film itself, and they look very fascinating, very interesting. Some of the stuff that stands out has to do with the Eric Sachs character, and again it ties into the idea that he was definitely going to be the Shredder within the film, as I had talked about within some of my other videos. And it has to do with the fact, those of you that have seen the movie know that there's a scene where he's walking April through his home, and he goes through a portion of his home that showcases a mural of some sort, where he talks about the history of himself and the history of the the Japanese area that he learned about and the culture associated with it. Well, there's images out there that extend beyond what was shown in theaters. It showcases him holding like a gauntlet of sort on his, I believe it's his right arm, one of those almost large gauntlets, the kind that you would usually see like on Doctor Doom, or you would see on Thanos from Marvel Comics have it on there on his hand. Here he's holding one, and it has a bunch of spikes. It looks very reminiscent of anything like Shredder related, and he's holding it, but not in a threatening manner. It seems like he's explaining something to April in that scene. And then of course, in that photo, but of course that scene did not show up anywhere in the film. There's another one where he's in the same scene, he's going through an area of his home where he has a bunch of, I guess you could call them like ceremonial outfits, this kind of stuff that the warriors used to have, the samurai warriors used to have dressed whenever they went into battle. And he's got a room full of these, and there he is, he's walking through it. And it probably looks like he's showcasing April this information, but there's that scene that of course wasn't within the theater on there. There's another one where it showcases a hooded, like a shadowy type figure, and it has the distinctive claws of the Shredder, these long spiky razor sharp knives of his, and they have it's within the underground basement that the movie showed Eric Sachs and the Shredder character talking for several times within the film, but it's within that same basement, but this time you only see the hand that's tied to Shredder's claw, and of course you can tell that it's his hand because of the long knives associated with it. And there seems to be like 4 kneeling Foot Clan soldiers of some sort, but they don't have their masks on. They're distinctive masks that they wore within the film. So there's a scene associated with that looks like it was cut, but there was nothing else shown in theaters, tied to that. There's another more famous one, and it has to do with a behind-the-scenes shot that it showcases April with the guy that's the stand-in for Raphael within the movie, and she's holding like a microphone to him, like she's doing an interview. And I believe the picture also showed the Vernon character filming this as well. And this was the stand-in that was made up of all that motion capture stuff, the motion capture suit, the motion capture camera work on his face, and he was of course the one playing Raphael in that scene. Nothing was done in terms of it showing him as the completed Raphael CGI character. Instead it's just him, the actor, in the full CGI costume, but that scene is nowhere to be seen in the film. In fact, from what I understand, that scene was supposed to be an homage to the original 1990s film, because it was supposed to have shown Raphael in his distinctive trench coat with his detective style fedora, that hat that he wore within the first film, and it was supposed to be like Raphael again playing like undercover above ground, and this time April was either interviewing him or leading him through the city, but for some reason that scene was cut on there. So there's also another scene that ties into that where it shows her like holding his hand for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe she was trying to hold him back. Maybe they saw something in the distance that he wanted to act on, but she held his hand to stop him. But it would have been interesting to have seen this particular scene on there. So, again, stuff associated within the film that appeared nowhere within the film in theaters, and yet here we have images associated with those scenes that hopefully do come out in some kind of deleted scenes, or even better yet, fingers crossed, some kind of extended cut. And the biggest scenes of all, that unfortunately there are no pictures of this, nothing at all that I was trying to find and see if there was any further proof, but it has to do with the fact of the original idea of having Eric Sachs's character be the Shredder within the film. Nothing really tying into it. So who knows if they'll even ever decide to release a special edition that went back to the original idea that Eric Sachs is a Shredder. Unfortunately, I don't think that'll ever happen, but fingers crossed. I'm hoping that something like that is shown in the future. But who knows? Stuff can happen, stuff can't, so we'll see. So, anyways, if anybody knows any other information associated with any kind of deleted scenes within the Ninja Turtles film, any kind of photographs, anything as far as proof, please post your comments, share your links on that information too, and I'll be happy to talk about it in future releases. So, thanks again, everybody. Take care. Bye.